Hi, and welcome back to Presentation Skills. Today we're going to start Unit 1 in the textbook, A Person to Admire. And you're going to be thinking, for the next few weeks, you're going to be thinking about and talking about someone who you really respect, somebody who you really admire and think is a great person. And we'll, of course, work through it and give you some ways to both think about it and to talk about it. But before that, last week we touched on the fact that many people, perhaps most people, when they're doing public speaking, get a little nervous at the beginning. And it's good to have a specific way to deal with it. Last week, the video mentioned breathing, taking a few deep breaths, and that's wonderful, and we'll talk about that later in the course. But it's also good to have good things to say to yourself. And so I'd like to introduce something called Sarnoff's Wheel. Now, Sarnoff was somebody from the 1940s who did a lot of public speaking and taught people how to do it well. And Sarnoff suggested that you say this. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you are here. I have something special. I'll share it with you. I'll give it to you. Okay? Now, what I'd like to ask you to do, let's back up. Do these one at a time. Can you ask you to stand up? Okay, because most of the time when you do presentations, you are standing up. And also, especially now that you're studying online, it's important that you get enough physical activity to keep your body moving, to keep the blood moving to your brain, especially. Okay, so you're standing up. Stand with your feet about 45 centimeters apart, so they're about shoulder width. So your body looks like a giant letter A. Right, your feet are a little farther apart, because this is a power position. It makes you more powerful. Okay, and you're talking across the room. You're talking. Depends on how big the room is. Imagine you're in a MIyagi Gakuin classroom, so fairly large, and you're talking to someone across the room, so you've got to project. You've got to speak from down here, from your stomach, not from your throat. Okay? Can you repeat after me? I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you are here. I have something special. I will give it to you. Great. Now, can you pause the video, but leave it on so you can still see the sentences, and repeat the sentences loudly 3 times. Pause the video and start when you're finished. Okay, great. And just recognizing that what you have to say is special, and you're giving it to your audience is a useful thing. Now, if you have your book, can you look at page 8? I'm going to move this down and find the correct file. Hi. Now on page 8, there are some people. Do you know any of these people? Probably none of us know all of them, but a couple that are important. Bill Gates, top right, used to be the richest man in the world, but now he's using all of his money. He started Microsoft, the computer software company, but now he's using his money to help people, especially with medical problems, which is wonderful. Nelson Mandela, bottom center, was the leader of South Africa. Was a great man. You may or may not know these people. What I want to do is have you thinking about people So at the top of page 9, it mentions people who, are well known or admired, for great success in work, great physical beauty, overcame serious disabilities. And then at the bottom of the page, it asks you to think about your own heroes and role models. Who are people? They might be famous people, or they might just be somebody who you know, but who's really helped you. Can you take a few minutes and turn off the video and answer a few of these questions? You don't have to answer all of them, but you have to do enough so that you're starting to think about people who you admire. Okay? Because what's going to happen over the next few weeks, you're going to be identifying somebody you admire and then eventually do a presentation about them. Okay, so turn off the video and come back when you're ready to go on to the next page. Okay, here are 3 famous people. 2 of them are famous, 1 I'm not sure. You probably do not know Jamie Oliver because he's a celebrity chef from the UK, but he's also done work on American television. Angela Jolie, the actor, you probably do know. And Anton Duval is a French doctor who works in Cambodia. I'm going to play a video. You're going to hear people giving little mini presentations about these people. But before we do that, can you, I'm going to see how big I can make this. I hope you have your book. If you do, please take a minute to read. Okay, you have the sentences with words missing. Read the sentences so you know what you're listening for. Okay? And turn off the video while you do that. Okay? And now I'll play the video. Try to catch the missing words. You can repeat the video as often as you need to. Okay? Also, they'll talk about 3 people in a row, but feel free to stop it and go back and listen to the first part, until you're satisfied with it. Remember, you don't need every word, but just try to catch the main idea. If for some reason you don't have your book yet, just take notes, whatever you can catch about these people. Okay? Remember, like always, you have your choice. You can watch the video as part of this, or if you want to go to Cambridge site, cambridge.org/presentyourself, one word. Watch it there, and you can turn on or off the subtitles. So I will turn off my light here, and I'll start the video and then run in and turn off the room lights, which will make it easier to hear. And as I mentioned before, if you have headphones or earbuds, it makes it easier to hear, especially if you're on your phone. Okay, here we go.
Jamie Oliver grew up in England. His parents ran a pub where he used to practice cooking. When he was 16, he left high school and got a qualification in home economics. After that, he began working as a chef. His first TV show, The Naked Chef, began in 1997, and his cookbook became a bestseller. Then, in 2002, he created a TV show called 15, in which he trained 15 young criminals or drug addicts to work in the restaurant business. In 2010, he made a reality show in the US called Jamie Oliver's Food Revolution because he wanted to change America's fast food diet. In 2013, he was elected into the Cooking Hall of Fame.
Angelina Jolie was born in Los Angeles in 1975. Both her parents were actors. She appeared in her first movie with her father when she was only 7 years old. She was in more movies in the 1990s. She won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1999 for her role in Girl Interrupted, and became an international superstar as the video game heroine in the film Lara Croft Tomb Raider. In 2005, she starred in Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt. Since then, they have become one of the world's most famous couples. They live together and have 6 kids, 3 of their own and 3 they've adopted from developing countries.
Anton Duval was born in Paris in 1972. When he was in high school, his father died. Anton then decided to become a doctor because his father wanted him to work helping others. However, he was not a great student, and he failed his university entrance exam 3 times. He finally passed it on the 4th try. He graduated as a doctor in 2001 and worked in hospitals in France for 8 years. Then, in 2009, he took a position as an eye surgeon at a hospital in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. He now spends much of his time in Cambodia, providing free treatment to poor people who can't pay. Since he started his free treatments, he has helped over 12,000 people regain their eyesight.
Okay. I'll go through and read the answers if you want to check your own. And there's an extra line which is to write just anything extra that you heard that was interesting. Okay. So the first part, Jamie Oliver, his parents ran a pub. Okay. He left school at age 16. Okay, he got a home economics qualification. In 2002, he created the program 15. It trained young people who were in trouble, criminals and drug addicts, trained them to work in the restaurant business. And in 2010, he started a reality show in the United States. He wanted to change America's fast food diet. Okay? And the extra information is in 2013, he was elected to the Cooking Hall of Fame. Angela Jolie, born in 1975, both of her parents were actors. Language point. You probably learned that a woman actor is called actress, right? And some people still use that word. But more and more we use the same words. We don't want to differentiate between men and women for job titles. So actor now applies to women as well as men. Okay, she appeared in her first movie when she was 7 years old, and she won an Academy Award, an Oscar, in 1999. 2005, she starred with Brad Pitt in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and they fell in love. And now they have 6 kids. 3 of them are their own, and 3 were adopted from developing countries. And she became a superstar in the video game hero Lara Croft Tomb Raider, which is a movie, not just a video game. Finally, Anton Duval, born in 1972 in Paris. While at high school, his father died. He decided to become a doctor to help others, but he failed the exams 3 times. He finally graduated in 2001. He worked in France for 8 years, and then he moved to Cambodia to work as an eye surgeon in 2009. And he spends he spends much of his time providing free treatment for poor people. He has helped over 12,000, that's Ichiman Nisen Nin, people regain their eyesight. Okay? Okay. Those were good examples of a presentation about someone the speaker admires. At the bottom of this page, you have information about Rafael Nadal, who is a professional tennis player, who you may or may not know, and Gaga, Lady Gaga, who you almost certainly do know. And I don't know if you know this. I mean, she's a wonderful musician and great singer, great actor. But she's also famous for helping people, especially people who are different. That might be LGBT. It might be anything that's just out of the mainstream. And she's very, very supportive of them. And that's something to admire. I wanted to do, I hope I can make this big enough for you to see. Okay, pronunciation work, because these are phrases you're likely to want to, when you want to use when you're describing people you admire. So can we do just a quick listen and repeat? I'll say it, and please repeat after me. She was born in 1986. She grew up in New York. Okay, now I want to do something a little bit different, because I know you know how to do repeat after me, because teachers have been doing that forever. But there's an interesting idea that pronunciation doesn't start in your mouth, it starts in your mind. And to focus on that, what I'd like you to do is repeat silently. I'll say it, and you say it again, but you are saying it. Your mouth is moving, but just no sound first. And then you say it out loud. So, for example, she was born in 1986. She was born in 1986. And when you say it silently, imagine it, listen to it in your mind. Okay? She grew up in New York. She grew up in New York. Jumping down. She decided to become a musician. She started a campaign for people who were different. He began working as a chef. He decided to quit school. He needed to quit school. He was forced to quit school. He used to practice cooking. Now she spends her time helping people. Okay, can you look at the box about Lady Gaga? Or if you like tennis and you know who Rafael Nadal is, talk about him. And please turn off the video and spend 2 or 3 minutes practicing talking about these people using some of these sentences. Okay, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, the video that you heard earlier tells you who they admire, but it didn't tell you what is so special about each person. So let's go back to the video page. And I need to go to the menu in video 5. Oops.
Jamie Oliver.
Okay, let me make it bigger. And once again, I'll turn off the lights. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, on page 11, you're checking at least 2 things about each. And if you can catch extra information, please write that.
Is a great chef, so of course I admire his cooking skills. But even more, I admire him because he proves you don't have to be a good student to achieve a lot and be successful. He left school at 16 and has the learning disability dyslexia. Actually, he never read a novel until he was 38. That's pretty amazing for such a successful, famous person. Another thing I really respect is his limitless energy. He appears in TV shows, opens restaurants, creates recipe books, gives lectures. It seems like he never stops working. I admire all those things about him, but most of all, I think his commitment to improve young people's eating habits is inspiring.
Of course, Angelina Jolie is incredibly beautiful, but that isn't why I admire her. I admire her for her talent as an actor and a director. I also admire her volunteer work as a special envoy for the UN, helping refugees all over the world. As a wealthy movie star, she could lead an easy life, but she decided to use her fame to help others. To me, that's really admirable and inspiring. Finally, I'm impressed by her courage. When she discovered there was a strong possibility she would get breast cancer, she decided to have surgery to remove both breasts. She said she was worried that if she died, her kids would not have a mother. That's both selfless and courageous.
I admire Dr. Duval for his determination to succeed, his dedication to service, and his passionate spirit. First of all, he had to take his exam 4 times, but he never gave up because he was determined to become a doctor. I think that kind of perseverance is unusual. Also, he's totally dedicated to making people's lives better. He often works 10 hours a day in villages treating more than 50 people with no payment for himself. That's true dedication. Finally, his passionate spirit shines through in the way he teaches medical students at his clinics. He encourages them to understand what it means to become a doctor, not by his words, but by his actions.
Okay. Oops. Where is hi? Okay. Did you catch the information? Okay. On what page is it? On page 11. She admires Jamie Oliver because he's proof that you don't have to be academic to succeed in life. There's more to life than just school learning. And his commitment to help young people. Okay? And the extra information was, she admires his cooking skills, but also his unlimited energy, or his limitless energy. Angela Jolie, he said he doesn't admire her for her beauty, but rather her talent as an actor and director, but also her volunteer work for the United Nations, and her courage. The story might have been a little hard to understand. She had a physical condition which makes it likely that she would develop breast cancer. So even though she's a beautiful movie star, she had both of her breasts removed to avoid getting the cancer, because if she died, I mean, she's got 6 kids, and they wouldn't have a mother. So that takes courage. Okay? And Dr. Duvall, she admires his determination to succeed and his dedication to improving people's lives. And the extra information was his passionate spirit. Okay. At the bottom, there are some extra things to admire about each of these people. Again, let's do listen, repeat silently, then repeat out loud. I really admire her for her talent and skills. I really admire her for her limitless energy. I admire Lady Gaga for working so hard. I admire her for never complaining. I respect Lady Gaga because of her commitment. I'm full of admiration for her dedication. I have a lot of respect for her dedication. Dedication means you decide what you're going to do and you stay with it and keep at it until you do it. I think her dedication is admirable. I think her dedication is inspiring. Her dedication is an inspiration to me. Okay? And before you put your book away for today, please look at the list at the bottom of the page. Who do you think of who's famous and admirable? An entertainer or celebrity, famous person, sports player, a politician or diplomat, politician is Sejika, a business person, a teacher, relative or friend, any. These can be famous people or just regular people. Maybe there's a teacher who you know or who you knew who inspired you. Okay? And then where did our, oops, I'm looking for a different page. Not this one. Here we go. This is Matt. Okay, we've done this. Okay. The extra task this week, the speaking task, is go to Flipgrid and watch my video and then practice yours. Okay? Who is somebody who you admire, respect? Tell us a little bit about him. 1 or 2 minutes. Okay? Him or her? Why do you respect them? Okay? And then please watch at least 5 other people's videos and record a comment about each one. It doesn't have to be long, but just to show, just to give feedback to the other people. Okay. Thanks. Good seeing you. Stay healthy, and goodbye for now.